Shanti. Good evening. Welcome to those of you here and welcome to all our viewers online. So this evening the theme is working with compassion. And with us is Masana. Masana has been meditating for over 18 years, but she also has a background of coaching, counselling, facilitation, a mediator, and she's also been a facilitator for values in healthcare, a spiritual approach. And, she loves to engage people. One of her other specialities is art of listening, and many of you may have heard some of the sessions she's conducted. So without further ado, welcome, Masana, working with compassion. Thank you.
So, Om Shanti, greetings of peace to each and every one of you, those that are here present in the center, and all of you that are online as well. Wonderful. And thank you, Sister Daksha, for that warm welcome. It's always wonderful to come here to the Wembley Centre. And we have another wonderful theme this evening. Compassion is definitely an aspect that I cherish within self as part of the bigger eternal spiritual quality of love. And we'll explore that in a moment. And also we're going to be looking at the dynamics of families, both when families function and when they do not function, the dysfunctional families. And look at how can I maintain inner compassion, first for self and for others, when faced with the challenges, where there are breakdowns in communication, breakdowns in relationships. And in order to look at this, let's first define what one of the key main eternal spiritual qualities, love. What does that really mean? It certainly doesn't mean Hollywood, Bollywood, Valentine's, here today, gone tomorrow, sorrow, sorrow. And I think each of us in our own way will have had experiences of that illusion, of that false word that embodies a lot of things that aren't real. And how easy can that word be used without crystal clear intention, a pure vibration, a pure intention of what love is, and the responsibility of what love is, and how to bring that even more into one's own conscious awareness in the heart and the mind of I, the soul, who is eternal, the spiritual being. And then how can I bring that awareness into my interactions with others, be it the nearest and dearest, family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, and every single human being on the planet, whether or not I'm in their presence or I put my thoughts out there to the whole world family. So we're going to be looking inside, and then what happens from my inner thoughts and how does that vibrate out back into the family, the community, the workplace, the nation, the planet. So love. What are some of the qualities, true qualities of love? So I'm going to ask in our audience present, so maybe you could call out what for you are some of the integral parts of pure love, other aspects of it. Acceptance, beautiful. So first accepting self, and accepting my strengths, any weaknesses, and yet honor who I really am. And then I can have that breathing space from that loving, detached awareness of others. Can I accept another? They may not be exactly as I'd like them to behave or act. However, can I still see beyond the external behavior that maybe I perceive? Be aware of words like perceive, very different from observe or know from an inner knowing. And maybe I'm observing behavior that I feel is either uncomfortable or I disapprove of or disagree. So acceptance, that's a very powerful inner awareness. Thank you. Another one for?
I was going to say acceptance, but I changed it. There's a sense of, I don't know, kindness that goes with loving someone, where you're just in that place where your heart and everything around you just shows kindness to that person.
Beautiful.
Yourself as well.
Thank you. So kindness. And I love little acts. Repeat from the beginning? Oh, I was about to. Thanks, Nidhi. Yes. So what I'm hearing is kindness, being kind to self, being kind to others. And it's a powerful gift. And it's what the world needs now. We know the song, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. And yet it's pulling it apart to really explore what does love mean to me, and kindness. And always to self first is essential. Think of if you're on a plane and when there's the takeoff, the flight attendants go through the safety routine, yes? And they say, if in the event of lack of oxygen, the masks will descend from the ceiling or the overhead rack, and you place it first on, if you've got children with you or someone elderly or disabled, before you put the mask on them, you put the mask on self. It's self-preservation. I can be of no use to anybody else if I'm going around rescuing everybody else and I pass out. And so I say to everyone, it is not selfish. Particularly women around the planet have been socialized, and be alert and aware of where I have been socialized to believe certain things are true. Because being on the spiritual journey, it is an opportunity to use one of the key spiritual godly powers of discernment. Be a gentle, compassionate, detached observer of first self, what thoughts, feelings are emanating from the conscious mind of I, the soul, and then to observe others from that detached, compassionate place. Because then I can discern more of what is needed in the moment. So another quality besides kindness, awareness, unconditional love, beautiful. And what does unconditional love mean for you?
Just giving without expecting of receiving something back.
Wonderful. And that's a key one. Again, be aware of conditioning. Welcome. Be aware of conditioning, where I expect if I give something to somebody that they must, be aware of words like must, they're a trap. Must, could, would, should, if only. I suggest they are traps. They put conditions on myself and on others. And so when I am open to being unconditional, then it means I'm giving space for the other to grow and be who they truly are. without the expectation. There's another saying, there are many sayings I've come across on the spiritual journey, and a key one is expectations guarantee disappointment. Don't take my word for it. It's guaranteed, though. I have yet to find where, if I've slipped into that illusion, again, highlight illusion, only each of us can discern and decide what is now an illusion that maybe in the past I thought was real or was true, because either my culture, my race, my gender, the income group I came from, etc., my age group, told me it's true. And now, as the mind and intellect and heart of who you truly are as a divine being, live in this temporary human experience, then you now are questioning what really is real and true for you. So authenticity comes in here. And another one is compassion. Yes. And compassion for self, being my best friend, my inner coach, rather than the inner critic. I suggest that in what I describe as the old world language, the old world culture of blame, attack, judgment, and criticism, the biggest critic can be who? Self. You know, that little voice inside that tells me, oh, you messed up again, Masana, oh, you forgot this, or you're lazy, or all of those negative things, or the old false negative beliefs. I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, everybody's better than me. So we have accrued many false negative beliefs that have been handed down by our caregivers. Be our caregiver as a small child, being our parents, our extended family, or the people that adopted us or fostered us, or if we were raised in a children's home. Whatever setting as a small child you were raised in, that was a big influence, yes? And now at this stage of your spiritual journey, mine as well, it's an opportunity to keep on observing and checking back. Is this really true for me now? Does this really resonate with me? Or is this something I've acquired and it's time that I choose? Choose is a very powerful, elevated word. It has great power behind it. I'm now ready. I choose to let go of that false belief. And one of the beautiful spiritual tools is to start listing those old negative beliefs and transform them. And the simple way to transform them is to remove the negative words and bring it back into the present moment. The only moment we have is this present moment. It's already gone, that moment. The next moment is now here. Am I alert, aware, and attentive in each moment? The now, which is the gift. Or do I observe, remember being the detached, compassionate observer of self? Do I observe at times, not blame myself, not be the inner critic? However, do I observe that often, are we going to take a moment of reflection? Yes? Let's take a moment. It's traffic control, where a minute of go within and be your best friend. Okay, beautiful. And gently come back to this present gift. And a simple spiritual tool is, let's say it's a negative false belief of I'm not lovable. So that little inner critic voice at times that pops up. And so take out the negative words, keep it in the present moment, and how would you reframe that so it becomes an affirmation? Anyone like to give it a go? I am lovable. And then take away the able. I am love. Thank you. Because that's the truth. We are all of these eternal spiritual qualities. So, oh, I've got a lovely little girl in the background who's put her hand up. Yes. Would you like to share something? You're welcome to say something, no? Maybe you were just waving at me. Beautiful. I love it. We got all ages. Fabulous. Oh, yes. It looks like she wants the mic, so we'll pause for a moment, staying in the now, the wisdom from the youth. Go ahead. What is your name?
Eve.
And would you like to ask a question, or would you like to share something? No. All right, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so I am love. So another one is I am not worthy. Someone else like to reframe that? Take out the negative, keep it in the present. I am worthy. Thank you. And the more that I focus on that positive affirmation, after a while it becomes a new habit. It overrides the old memory of I'm not worthy, or I'm not valuable, or I'm not lovable. So again, being that detached, compassionate observer of self, catching myself before I come into sound or action. Because the soul creates every thought, every feeling, every intention. And this is why meditation, early morning, sacred time with yourself, with the divine, is essential at this time to navigate the spiritual journey where there are blocks, there are challenges. Yes, there is negativity. And the more I fill myself up with positivity early morning, and treat myself royally with that care and attention, then no matter what happens during the day, expect the unexpected. I think all of us can relate to that. You know, have you ever had a day where you woke up and thought, oh, the sun is shining, I've got a little free time, it's a beautiful day, or I'm looking forward to the work I'm going to be doing today, and then something out of the blue happens that destabilizes you, that shocks you. It's either a sudden negative phone call or a traffic accident or whatever. And so the more that I fill up with these spiritual powers, remind myself who I truly am, be kind to myself, then I become more robust. I become stronger from inside out because I am caring for myself. And I can choose, remember the word choose is powerful, to step back and look at the situation from a different perspective of this is not being done to me, it's actually part of the drama. Welcome. Because each of us is an actor. Are you aware of that? You are actually the superstar of your own story. You are co-creating your own story. And because each of you, whether or not you're online or here present, you are on a spiritual journey. You are choosing You'll use your own words, choosing to rediscover, reclaim who you truly are, free from what either the caregivers told you when you were a small child, the school told you, the society, the culture, the race, etc. There is so much more to each of you, to me, and everyone on the planet. And so keeping that air of curiosity. Think of a small child. They have a natural curiosity about life. You know, why is the sky blue? Why this, why that? Can I keep my mind open and beyond like an eagle? Imagine being an eagle soaring up in the sky. The eagle has a 360-degree vision of down below. And so when I am trapped in the challenge, I choose not to use words like hard, difficult, or problem. Because what happens when you say, oh, this is so hard, this is so difficult? What happens inside, anyone? How do you feel? Yes, because you have told yourself it's difficult. So your mind cooperates with that negative statement. Accurate. And then how do you feel inside? What emotions, what feelings come up when you're saying, oh, this is insurmountable, this is so hard, this always happens to me, nothing works out. Get tired, the body gets exhausted, the mind is exhausted. Anything else? Stress. So the message from the mind of the soul sends a message to the physical organ of the brain, sends a message to the adrenal glands over the kidneys, and releases cortisol and adrenaline that start rushing around the physical body, which causes us to go into fight, flight, or freeze. So I'm either fighting with myself, telling myself off, or I'm starting to have an argument with somebody else and blaming them. Remember the old blame game? Or I go into freeze, so I'm in shock, and the mind stops thinking, can't access the eternal wisdom that is within each of us. Or flight, I'm in avoidance. I run away from the situation, right? So on the spiritual journey, we are learning to be kind to self, compassionate to self, observe self, and be in, can you think of another F, which would be opposite of fight, flight, or freeze? Flow, thank you. To be in the flow. And maybe play with the acronym afterwards, you know, spell it going down, F, and a word for that that's positive vibration, L, O, and W. So you've got a little reminder how to come back into the flow. Right. Okay, so I'd like you for a moment to reflect, and please be the gentle, compassionate, detached observer. Do not get caught in the story. You are the superstar of your own life. You have every opportunity to create a positive, peaceful, joyful, wise life. It takes practice, it takes time. However, each of you are on that journey, otherwise you would not be here right now. So I'd like you, from that eagle perspective up there, look down at maybe a family situation. It might be the family that you were born into. It might be in relationship with the family you've co-created with somebody, whether or not you're with that partner or not. Or your family at the moment may be the people you live with, or your close circle of friends. So whatever for you are those nearest and dearest. And yet there is maybe someone that right now you know there's a misunderstanding. There's a breakdown in that communication or that relationship. Don't go to the one that is out of a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the biggest conflict you're experiencing in your life right now. Because when learning a new tool, it's advisable to go with a smaller situation. And then as you build up your resilience and your skills, you can then apply it to the biggest challenge. So between the scale of 1 to 5, allow yourself to observe where there is at present a misunderstanding. And it may not even be with somebody that you're seeing right now. It's maybe someone that just they won't talk to you at this time or whatever. Can everyone reflect on that for a moment?
Can I write something about not a misunderstanding, but about a resentment? Is that...
Whatever comes.
It's not a misunderstanding, it's a resentment.
Resentment of some...
Is that okay? Yeah.
Whatever, yes, whatever is alive in you now, absolutely. Go with what's bubbling up inside, yes? And make a note of it. It's not something you need to share, so it's allowing what is, I've maybe repressed, suppressed, depressed into the subconscious. And yet, it's like it's niggling me, you know, every now and then it comes back. And it causes stress or worry or anxiety, or I feel low or I feel sad because, you know, this person, we're not talking anymore, or whatever it is, okay? Everybody, something has come up for you? And then be aware of how that makes you feel. What feelings come up? Is it sad? Is it frustrated? Resentful is a feeling, a very strong feeling. Is there a feeling of anger? Disappointment? Name the feelings that come up when you think of that breakdown in communication, relationship with another. And then the body. Observe the body. Where do you experience the tension? Some people, stress affects the stomach. For me, it's the stomach. It starts cramping, and then you know what releases. Other people, it's palpitations of the heart, beating faster, or the respirations increase, and I become breathless. Or the shoulders go up tense, or a headache, or backache, or neck ache. So make a note of where in your body do you first feel that tension. And keep being that gentle, compassionate, detached observer. And then when you're ready, again take that eagle view from up above, looking down at the situation. And if another person is involved in that breakdown, in that communication or relationship, or what has triggered your resentment, then for a moment, can you tune into what their feelings, what they may have been feeling during that situation? And make a note of that. So it can be the other person. You can name it the person or not. You don't need to share any of this. And do you sense there was an unmet need for themselves? And main needs are human universal values, and there are many that refer to physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and I'm going to give you the 5 main ones. A need to be listened to, a need to be understood, and one that you said earlier, a need to be accepted, a need to feel safe, and a need to be respected. Did I say respected? So respected, listen, understood, safe. So tune in for a moment, and maybe it will pop up from deep within. What was their unmet need? Was it they needed to be listened to, understood, accepted, feel safe, or respected? And also make a note of what was your unmet need at that time. Was your need to be listened to be understood, to be accepted? Can you accept me as I am in this moment? My mood may change later. Will you accept me though? Will you respect me? Do I feel safe in this situation? And safety can mean many things, physically, mentally, emotionally. And make a note of that. And when you've identified what your need was in that moment, is there something from what we've been looking at with the spiritual qualities, and I'll mention some of the spiritual powers that you could take that would support you to come back into your self-respect, into your authentic self? And we've spoken about the pure energy of love, being compassionate, being gentle, being kind, being generous, all of these to be with yourself, to listen to yourself, to access that inner calm, stillness. And the spiritual powers that might be helpful are the power to withdraw, being that gentle, compassionate observer. The power to be more flexible, to adjust to the situation, to be discerning. And discerning is a great power because it gives me an opportunity to step back and look at, if I choose plan A, whatever that is, what would the possible consequences of that be? Or if I choose plan B, what are the possible consequences? So discerning before making a decision is for you to be far-sighted, to use your wisdom. Because the more that you are looking after your own needs and not dependent on another, this illusion out there in the world that if in a family dynamic often, and I know I've fallen into that trap in the past, I'm a little more alert and aware to it now and catch myself over the years. However, if I have this false expectation that other people I live with are always going to keep the kitchen clean and tidy, I'm going to really be triggered every time I go into that dirty, cluttered kitchen and lose it, yes? So there's going to be a lot of misunderstanding. Equally, if I expect someone to be always nice to me, always kind to me, then I'm under the illusion that all of us are perfect in this moment. At the spiritual soul essence, we are each perfect. However, we've all got trapped in negative vices that can pull me away from the truth. So again, I can get trapped in the illusions. So has everybody, yeah? Anyone like to, did you get any aha moment? Did you see something, anything different from that situation? Only share what you're comfortable, and if you could put your hand up and we could pass the mic around. Anybody begin to see maybe a little more of what was hidden before in that situation or in that relationship. Was it a power game, external power of domination, exploitation? Was there persecutor mode going on, or rescuer? Anything at all? Yes. Okay. Well, I'll repeat at the moment, and the mic, maybe it went back inside. Did it go back? Okay. So meanwhile, let's. Okay. So if you share, and I'll repeat.
What I wanted to ask you is that it wasn't really an aha moment or anything like that. It was actually something that I'm sort of stuck with. The only thing I came to think about what you were saying was possibly to withdraw, but the situation is that it's the resentments that I have with two friends of mine. About 3 years ago, when my mother got very ill, I thought she was dying. There was a friend that...
Stop for a moment, since the mic has come, yes?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's about resentments. So about 3 years ago, when my mother became very ill and we thought that she was going to die, there was a friend who I'd been very close to all my life, and she wouldn't support me. She couldn't hear what I needed to speak about because she said it upset her too much. So for me, what happened was, and what's also happened several times with that friend, was it became about her. She couldn't deal with it. She couldn't look at her friend and think what I needed. She was only taking care, as she often has done, selfishly, of her needs. And when before her mother died, I was there all the time. And then another friend at the moment is, who my mother's been very good to, my mother's seriously ill now, is not making the trip from Glasgow, just even for a day, because of his dog, or it's too far, or whatever. And this, again, is so disappointing to me, and I feel so angry that they can't do that for a woman who really cared for them, and that it's more about them than thinking about what I need as a friend, which I have given to them. So I can't seem to get over that resentment, and the only thing I felt not supported, not cared for, it was more about them than me. I just kept thinking just selfish. And I thought the only thing that I could relate to that you were talking about is maybe the power to withdraw is what I need. That was the only thing I could think.
Well, thank you for, first of all, being so honest, and blessings on your mother at this time. And I appreciate how much emotional energy and mental and physical energy it takes to care for a loved one. So, and there was something, hopefully it will come back for me, something else that you said. There were a number of things you said I'd like to highlight. One is the expectations. Whenever I have an expectation of anyone, it creates disappointment. And disappointment, if it piles up and accumulates, like you've described with two different friends over a long period of time, then resentment becomes quite a strong energy inside. And that causes damage within self, because every time I think about that person, it triggers. So be mindful, everyone, of triggers, and start making a list of what triggers you to go back into. Underneath resentment will be sorrow, unmet needs, and negative feelings, and a fear. There always will be a fear. And someone please remind me to say the acronym afterwards for fear. However, staying with what you are sharing, when you identify what you need, you have acknowledged that you were a friend to them. You gave them whatever you felt they needed at their time. of need. And life does not always give me what I think I ought to receive. It's another word to put on that negative list, the ought, would, could, should, if, but, only. It will trap me back into an illusion that a person that I've given to will automatically give equal amount or even more than what I gave. And as much as each of us would really like that to be true, I'm yet to see that is a reality. However, the more that you are giving to yourself what you need and naming where you need support in a different way to complement what you clearly are making an effort to take care of yourself, then that's being your inner coach, your inner best friend, and identifying, well, I would like more consideration, or I would like more support at this time, be it emotional, physical, and how can I make that happen or create that, because I am the co-creator of my life, and be open that maybe it's coming from another source. So if I'm looking to the person in front of me, whether or not they're up in Scotland or where, I'm focused on that one person. Maybe there are people behind me or down the road that if I can let go of the resentment and the expectation that it has to be that person that I invested a lot of time and energy and consideration, and start to let go of that and continue to be honest as you are. And I'm speaking to everyone because we all go through these experiences, and be open to challenges, create possibilities and opportunities, even if in this moment I have not a clue where the opportunity or the possibility is coming from. It's actually taking me from tunneled vision of it has to be that one, because that's the one I invested my time, energy in, to let go and open up, go back up beyond, and be open to new possibilities. Maybe it's when I come to a talk like this, I get another little light down the end of the tunnel, or maybe it's after a meditation, or maybe I listen to a positive, uplifting song, and it touches me on another level.
I do have other friends.
I'm sure.
Who are wonderful.
Yes.
It's just that I'm just shocked and
Yes.
hurt and angry with these two. I have,
Yes.
I do have wonderful support
Wonderful.
from other friends, but it's, you know, someone who I've been in my life so long that you get disappointment, I think was the word that you may have used, that, you know, the disappointment that then creates anger. So, yeah, it's trying to let that go.
It's letting go, and that is about being kind to self. I'm not going to let go of something that I'm holding on to if I'm not kind to myself. And say I did the best I could at that time, and clearly the other person is still in their wound. They're still in such a great neediness, because when someone is trapped in everything is about me, they're not able to generosity or that empathy for another, because they're so. When I'm meditating, at the end of a meditation is send them good wishes and let go and focus on the now. It's a journey, it's a process. I hope that helps a little.
Is it okay to kind of feel, because with this one particular friend, I've had very little to do with her. I mean, I spoke yesterday, but I have completely distanced myself with love, trying. But is that okay to do that and go, I choose not to have the same relationship with you anymore? Because that's how I feel. I don't want the same relationship
And
anymore.
your answer is?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, great.
It's okay, right?
Thank Thank you.
And you have said it. I didn't say it. I agree with you. However, I got goosebumps when you said it's okay. Because when speaking for myself, I'm having that inner conversation with myself and saying, it's okay now. It's time to let go of the person, of the whatever. And I am coming from a place of love, even though if I don't feel fully love for the other, that I am staying in my own compassion, gentleness and kindness. And whenever thinking of that one, send them good wishes through the divine and keep taking your steps.
Thank you.
Well done. That's part of the healing. Somebody else, any aha moment? Did you see anything slightly differently from stepping into the shoes of the other for a moment? Yes.
Hi. I don't speak to someone for a couple of years now, and that person is very close to me. It's part of the family person. And in that exercise, I just had the aha moment of, I never really look from their point of view. Maybe what I'm actually feeling, that's what they're feeling. Maybe they feel resentment, anger. Maybe they also feel sad and frustrated with me, what I'm actually feeling. I just try to put myself in their shoes like a mirror and say, what about if they feel exactly the same I'm feeling? So that was my probably aha moment. Instead of seeing only myself angry in that whole situation, maybe that person feels exactly the same. It's just, two very strong egos that has we can't just start talking. But maybe the person is not the only person that is guilty in the whole situation. Maybe they also hurt.
So that's very powerful self-awareness. If you can keep the mic for a moment, because I'm going to ask you another question. And having that awareness that maybe the feelings, although each of you will be coming from your own unique view of the situation, view of self, and each of you will have your own perception through your own lens. And when I refer to the lens, I'm talking about whatever my past experiences are, however I perceive myself, I look through that lens out at the world, out at others. So if I come from, in this moment, a place of compassion, then I look out at others with compassion. If in this moment I'm in a place of fear or criticism, that's what I'm looking at others. And so when you have that ability to realize, we may both have similar feelings, then look again at your unmet needs and the unmet need of the other. Are they similar or different when you did that exercise?
Similar.
Aha. So at times in conflict, the needs can be the same. However, they will be interpreted differently by each person, because different life experiences, different belief systems, and the different lens that has colored the life experiences of you and the other person. Make sense? However, well done. Those are two very important steps to conflict transformation. Right? Because then, although both of you, imagine each of you that you and the other person, and for each of you, imagine each of you are standing on a different mountaintop. And the person that you have the challenge with is on the other mountaintop. So there is a big gap. Yes, because if you draw two triangles and each of you are on the tip of the mountain, there's a big gap at the top and it becomes narrow near the base, right? The base is where you put the unmet needs, right? So that's where there is something, there's common ground. And when you start from common ground, then you can begin to start bridge building and exploring with each other This is how I felt when I heard, not when you, because the you will put the barrier up and it's like a finger wagging, pointing, and blame game again. But when I take ownership of how I felt when I heard what was said or what was done, and what I would like is some understanding of how I'm feeling at this time. It's very critical, though, not to have the expectation that the person's automatically going to change. So it's step by step. Help? Anyone else? Oh yes, because they're coming in from online.
Yeah, one from online. It says, how to resolve an issue with someone when it's not your fault in the first place and the other person cannot see their mistake.
Okay. All right. I think all of us can relate to that at times. So, with all due respect, it's a powerful question. Thank you for the question. However, remember what I suggested, that what I observe in the old world paradigm, the Iron Age body consciousness, is the blame game. And when I get trapped into blame, judgment, criticism of another, inside also is the inner critic. And so if I'm in that, let me think how to put this, in that statement that I just heard read out, I'm hearing, I may have misunderstood that the other person is the problem, that everything that that person said or did caused the problem. And I'm suggesting on the spiritual journey, it's really all about me, my inner journey, and not to blame myself, to begin to be really honest with myself. Was there anything in that interaction or that relationship where whatever I'm judging the other for, being selfish, inconsiderate, lazy, whatever it is, do I even have a little tiny, tiny grain of that? And not to judge myself. This is where I need to be kind, compassionate, so I can be honest with myself. And I might see, oh, let me step back. What happened just before there was that misunderstanding, or before I went into blaming the other completely? Was there a flow between us? Was there respect? Was there generosity of spirit between us before that wall, imaginary wall, came up? And when I can really step back, remember being the eagle, going beyond, looking down, I might see that there were tiny little steps that started to slide down the edge of the mountain. You know, a landslide? And if you're on a road going up a mountain, and there's a sheer drop down one side, and those big rock boulders start coming down, you're going to start slipping, right? So before that happens, and you were starting to climb up the mountain, and everything was peaceful and beautiful and lovely, that's where you look. Then you'll become more aware of where did it start to go downhill. Where did that boulder come from? Right? And in that way, you can begin to understand that maybe I too had a part to play. Because when there's a conflict, it takes two people. If it's only one person, then it's an inner conflict. But once I'm caught in that particular dance, then I'm part of it, till I'm not. So it's taking responsibility, and the word responsibility, the ability to respond, the ability to look honestly at myself. And if I still, when I've done that honest searching in the heart of I, the soul, and I still feel this was unacceptable, then like one of the speakers here in the room said, it's time for me to let go and move on. Can I do it gracefully? Can I do it with compassion, not with the conflict and the war? I'm aware of time. Is there anyone else that would like to share an insight or ask a question before? Yes? Anybody else? How about yourself at the back there? No, you're okay? Yes. Okay, and no more questions, yes?
Yeah, no, that's
okay,
fine.
well, I think we're coming up to time, so I'll offer a meditation now, yes? Okay, so well done, everyone. You've got a number of tools there you can play with, experiment with, and let's have a meditation to help to bring that more into a new tool that you can use. So as I sit the body comfortably in the chair, maybe uncross my legs, relax the hands in my lap, and take a few deep cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you breathe in, imagine you're breathing from the feet, up through the legs, the abdomen, the chest, through the throat, the top of the head, and allow the breath to cascade over the back of the head, down the back, releasing any stuck tension, any stuck energy. And again, take another deep cleansing breath and release and let go. And then gently, gently take the attention away from the body. The body is the sacred, temporary temple for your true identity. You are a soul, eternal, sitting in the center of the forehead, a tiny point of light. Imagine your true identity like a tiny sparkling star. I am eternal peace, unconditional love, compassion, gentleness and kindness. I am happiness and joy. I have access to create pure thoughts, pure feelings, and pure intentions. I have access to eternal truth, eternal wisdom, and spiritual godly powers. See that tiny little star within you, radiating sparkling light. And now gently, gently take your attention higher and higher, beyond the body, beyond this room, way up in the soul world, the world of light, peace, silence and purity. Experience warm waves of compassion, gentleness, and pure love flowing towards you, the soul, around you and through you. bringing more inner stillness, peace, and joy. And whatever was holding you back, wherever that pain and sorrow is in the heart of I, the soul, release it, let it go to the source of the ocean of unlimited love, the ocean of eternal peace, and the ocean of eternal happiness and joy. Feel yourself becoming stronger, more in your inner balance and harmony. Take the courage, capture it and put it in the heart of I, the soul. And now gently, gently, when you're ready, gently come back, be aware, I, the sparkling star, eternal soul, in the center of the forehead. Gently open the eyes, know that you, the soul, are looking out through the eyes, the windows to the soul, listening with the physical ears. And keep those gifts unlimited within you to guide you on your journey. Om Shanti. I am a peaceful, loving soul. Thank you. Come back into the present moment awareness.
Shanti, and thank you. And you'll join me in thanking Masana. Just to recap a few things. What are some of the unmet needs we have to be aware of? Can anybody list that? She mentioned about 5 of them. What is it that we always like to be listened to? Accepted? No. Yeah, listened to, accepted. What was the other ones? Understood. Yes. 4th, respected. Safe. So there are many, but these are some of the important ones. So anytime there's a situation and we're not sure, not feeling ourselves, so having that eagle view and look at what are the things that are unmet in us and what are the needs that are unmet in the person concerned, that we have reactions or resentment, etc. towards them. So just to make you aware of our talks next week, same time, same place. And it's the Vegetarian Week, like 15th of May, which is not quite today, but this topic was particularly chosen to mark the International Family Day. So next week again is a Vegetarian Week, and it's about Eat Right, Live Well with Ranjan Amin. And every Monday and Thursdays, 7 to 7:30, we have reflective meditation. On Thursdays, you can also come and join us in person. Mondays is just online. And on the 20th, 20th May, which is just a bit of advance notice, 2 to 4 p.m. we have self-esteem session, and that's an in-house session. So that's a Saturday, 20th May. And also this Sunday at Global Cooperation House, our main center, Sunday the 14th, from 2 to 5:30, we have a workshop event, Appreciating Life, a creative afternoon to recharge your soul and increase your well-being with Sister Maureen. So it seems to be quite promising. And so that's this Sunday from 2 to 5:30. Sister Kanan, who's also a team member here, she along with Kathy are organizing this. So that's not the Kathy who used to be here, but another Kathy. So Appreciating Life. So there's going to be lots of things happening, so worth coming. And so we'll see you soon. And the shop will be open for a few minutes for you to browse on your way out. Thank you.